Okay, can you guys hear me? So sorry about hold on one second. Okay. I think this works. Hold on one second. Sorry about that, you guys. How are you tonight? So Cassidy's stream was so good, wasn't it? Okay, so let's go here. Let me go back. So basically my StreamYard had paused my subscription because I wanted to move it after I found out that Ryan Reynolds had bought or was like invested in StreamYard. So I wanted to yeah, I wanted to pause the subscription or and see if there was like a better one. And then after all this research, I'm just like, I should stick with this one, but I didn't unpause it, so it wouldn't let me go live. But so sorry for the delay, but it actually worked out perfectly. So how is everyone doing? Has it been a good oh, Kenny said, let me see, go back. She said it's been a good day of streams. Yeah, so many. And there's been so many streams with all this unsealing and all these documents. And so I think I did one with, I don't know if you guys saw it with CJ for the PGA letter, because that was like my big one. I was like, we have to read that letter. So what does this one say? Michelle says, I just read the pics as jugs removed instead of judges removed. That, you know what? That's a really good one. So yeah, and I wanted to and I've been wanting to talk about Aaron Spencer as well, but it everything happened at the same time. Like a judge was removed from the Aaron Spencer case. And like that should have been headline news, but it happened like the same day as these docs were getting unsealed, which was like the same day I was doing stuff for the land. So anyways, there's a lot of crazy stuff, but now that everyone's here, we'll just get right into it. Oh, and I wanted to share this with you guys because I know I always talk about the land. And this is like an example of some of the little babies we're trying to save that use the wildlife corridor. So it's taken up a lot of time. It's taken a lot of crazy turns. But, anyways, so after all this unsealing, I only did the PGA letter with CJ. And then I have some like little tidbits I was going to show you guys first because we'll start with It Ends With Us. And then whoever wants to stay for Aaron Spencer can stay. But this is my theory. I just think we are in federal court because these two narcs were rejected by Baldoni. And that's all allegedly, in my opinion. Let me make sure my banner's there. Okay, good. And so I honestly, that's how I feel. I think she tried to make some kind of moves on Justin. And I think that because, for example, she added that improvised kissing scene that we saw. Um, and the how she kept trying to get Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath to come into her trailer while she was pumping. And, and then they gave her like a garment to cover up the milk jugs. And, so every time she kept kind of getting like rejected. And then, yeah, but oh, I spelled this wrong. Sorry, you guys. But I said invited Baldoni to her penthouse. She invited him on her private jet, like he was holding her kids. And then how she would always flaunt her milk jugs and when she was in charge of wardrobe. And so she would wear these like bizarre outfits. Hold on, I have to move this screen over. Yeah, so she would wear these like crazy outfits. I'll show you an example. Like that, that she was in charge of, like with her tatas hanging out, her milk jugs hanging out. But and then and she even said with the Jamie Heath that like, oh, I know you weren't trying to cop a look. So like she knows they weren't trying to even look at her. But instead then she gets mad and she retaliates and then says that they were gawking at her eyes or whatever that's supposed to mean. And yeah, I mean that must have been a total burn where they literally gifted her. If you haven't seen my Pumpgate video, I do a whole thing about milk jugs. And so they literally gifted her a garment to cover up her milk jugs, like, because they don't want to see that. No one wants to see that. So none of her tricks were working, in my opinion. And I also want to give a shout out to check out Kinney's MilkJugz video. I don't know if any of the mods, do you have a link to her? If you have a link to the MilkJugz video, or here, let me just find it real quick. I can always just drop it real quick. Because I think that it deserves more views. let me just get it. MilkJugz. And it's kind of because, when I think Cassidy, well, the whole chat was always like I think they were calling her MilkJugz, and then it got Cassidy confused. She called it, she thought the song, my milk, what is it now? I don't even know what it is. My something brings all the boys to the yard. Well, now I just think it's MilkJugz. Okay, I can't find the link for some reason. Can one of the mods, if you guys can find it and put it in, that'd be awesome. Okay, or because I don't want to, or you can DM it to me, Kenny. Oh, milkshake. That's what it is. Milkshake. Okay, cool. So let's keep going. Oh yeah, we did the outfits. Okay, and then I think, and I think Ryan was rejected too. That's what's so funny. I think that we are in federal court because these two narcissists were rejected by Baldoni. And the other one was this one where this was an article, this was back in October 8th, 2024, where Ryan Reynolds reportedly wanted to buy out Justin Baldoni from It Ends With Us at any cost. And here, I can show you guys that article, but basically it says he's looking forward to buying Justin Baldoni out of It Ends With Us, if that means that his beloved Blake Lively gets to reprise her role for the sequel of the hit movie. And then it says, find you a man who will do anything to make sure you keep doing what you love, like Ryan Reynolds does for Blake Lively. And it's so funny because there was like articles this week that was like, oh, who wouldn't do this for their wife or whatever. And I was like, well, you mean like he was complicit? Like that's really what it is. Hey, Christina, how are you? Let's see. Did we drop your link, Kenny? If we didn't drop it, here, let me just try to find it real quick because I feel bad. I just want to link to her song. I didn't know where it was. Kenny. I don't know if the mods, if you guys have a link to her song, you can drop it. I was trying to find it. I'm so sorry I didn't have it. I have it like in my other videos. Let's see, videos. I don't see it. Did you take it off your channel, Kenny? Okay. Khaleesi, you're looking too. All right, can you just DM me if you have it, and I'll put it, and I'll just add it, because for some reason now I can't find it. Anyways, we're gonna keep going. So in this article, so then he basically says, according to a source speaking to Life and Style, Reynolds is ready and prepared to put his money where his mouth is when it comes to securing Lively's It Ends With Us future. The source said Ryan is willing to offer millions to Blake's director and co-star Justin Baldoni in an attempt to buy out his stake in the franchise so Blake can continue her role without having to work with Baldoni, with whom she clashed. This is coming after rumors surfaced that Lively and Baldoni clashed on set of the movie. Apart from this, the film also suffered at the hands of critics and fans, despite bringing in a box office figure of $335 million. Wasn't it closer to $400 million? But still. While Blake and Millie played the lead role of Lily impeccably, that's how you know it's from her, right? Fans felt that the marketing approach for the movie did nothing to address the hefty subject it explored. Oh, maybe it's not from her. Lively was either promoting her brands or downplaying any question that touched on the domestic violence the movie depicted. Following the backlash, Lively chose to keep her social media channels, even keep off her social media channels, even refraining from sharing anything online for a month since the movie's August 9th release. However, she returned with a post promoting her hair care line, Blake Brown Beauty, captioning a picture of herself in a brown coat with the words, "Our Blake Brown Beauty all-in wonder potion does it all except provide you a shirt or a hairbrush. I don't know what those are." Apparently not, because she always has her MilkJugz out. Reynolds supported the post with a like, further emphasizing the couple's mindset to always present a united front no matter the weather. So anyways, here, I'll put this in the chat if you want to read the rest of the article. It's kind of like whatever. There you go. How are y'all doing? Oh, no worries. Christine, how are you? Hey, Vague, how are you? Hey, Lori Jane. Oh my God, the Aaron Spencer. We're going to get to that after. Don't worry. Where's this article? I just posted it in the chat, Michelle. Here, I'll do it again. And it's also in the description because I was trying to be prepared. So we're going to keep going. Okay. Let me go back to my slides. I have 2 sets of slides today because I'm doing 2 different cases. Okay. And so, all right. So these are just my favorite little tidbits because I don't know. Are you guys burnt out from this unsealing? There's so much. So I was just going to touch on like a few little quick things. We're going to read just one exhibit, and then we're going to talk about that judge getting removed in the Aaron Spencer case because that's wild. So my favorites from the unsealing, obviously the PGA letter, which again, I'm going to link that live for you guys because if you didn't watch it, I thought it was pretty good that what CJ and I did because we just went through her whole PGA letter is literally a confession letter, in my opinion. Here, I'm going to get that for you right here. Sorry. Okay, let me link that in the chat. There you go. So we're going to link that. If you guys hadn't seen that yet, I think that was a good, I thought the coverage was good because I love CJ. CJ's like, she had so much good insight on the case. And she was like in such a funny, like there were so many jokes in that stream. It was really funny. It was a good time. So, hey, Rose Wild, how are you? Sorry if I missed you guys if you came in. So I'm a little rusty. It's been what, like a week? Just kidding. Okay, so the Taylor Swift text I thought were good. The Freedman quotes, we're going to get to that. I found 2 that I really liked. The Ryan Reynolds has manic rants, which I think you guys have all seen all this stuff, so that's why I just don't want to bore you with it. But this one I haven't seen anyone talk about, which is the James Vituscka and Abel text. Have you guys been over this yet with any of the other creators? Because if not, I thought it was really interesting. And on our way over to that, I wanted to show you something. Oh, yeah, because here, I'm going to share this instead. And also, did you guys see that I was just like skimming through like some of the documents, and this one, I hadn't seen anyone say it, so I posted it, but like, did you guys all know that Jenny Slate didn't read the book either? She says, I also haven't read the book, so she didn't want any questions about that in their presser. So I don't know if that's news or not, but I posted about it because I thought that was pretty wild. Because it's just like, okay, so now we know Isabella did not read the book, right? Because Miss what did CJ call her? Minnie Mole? Miss Minnie Mole, cookie dough girl. She was so offended by the cookie dough scene, but if she had read the book, she would have known that it was in there. So she apparently didn't read the book. Yeah, she claims she read it 3 times, but like, how did she miss that scene? Why was that scene like such a strange surprise to her? Or you know what I mean? And then and obviously Blake didn't read the book. And then now we have this right here. Yeah. Turns out Miss Jenny Slate admitted it in her own words. She also has not read the book. And when she says also, I'm just like, so is she implying just Blake, or was there did none of these bitches read the book? I'm starting to wonder what is going on here. Yeah, so there was that one. And then so we were going to this exhibit. So let me switch over. Cookie dough hater. She really is, isn't she? Yeah, that's what I was wondering, Michelle. You said you can't be a good actor if you don't read the book of a movie is based off of it. And I just think that it just seems so unprofessional to me. Vig says, I really like those texts. I found them interesting, and I'm not a fan of Leslie Sloan at all. Awesome. Okay, wait. So you read this one? Well, we're going to read this one because I don't know. I'm still a little bit confused how the whole James Vituscka thing went down. How did he end up like where he is now? Like, how did he end up not helping Wayfair in the end? That's what I kind of want to know. And I don't think we've really had an answer to that. And I'm going to move myself because I'm going to make this bigger. So hold on. I'm going to go down here. Let me make this bigger. Okay. So this is James Vituscka on the right side. Okay, you guys. And the left side, my gut says it's Jennifer Abel. You guys can tell me if it's someone else. But can I just see real quick in the chat? Have any of you guys read this one yet? Read it. Okay, so we're going to read it. Awesome. Quarter Fate, how are you? She says, it's so crazy. She claims she didn't read the book because she wanted to come in unbiased or some... Yeah, so weird. The whole point of the film. Yeah, I agree. I mean, no, I think that was just her excuse when she was caught for not reading it and why she couldn't take questions about it. But then it was like, okay, but then like that you wanted this PGA credit for this movie, like as a book adaptation, you know, is that how you say it? I don't know the correct term. Is it a movie adaptation of a book? Whatever it is, this movie script was based on the book, and you want a PGA credit for being in charge of everything, and you didn't even read the book the script is supposed to be based off of. You know what I mean? I just, oh, I should drop that link too. If you guys haven't signed the PGA removal credit. Hey, Sam Wolf, how are you? Okay, let me get it really quick. PGA credit remove for Blake Lively. Oh, here we go. So let's see how many signatures. We have 16,000 signatures on it. No idea who started this. No idea if it will even work, because from what I understand, they're probably not going to rescind it. I don't think that's ever happened before. But I'm still sending that. Deborah, how are you? That's like taking a test on a book you didn't read and hoping you make an A. And, you know, I was thinking, I was like, this should be like kind of like a warning for like future, or like for casting, whoever's ever in charge of casting. Like if your movie is based on a book, or even if you gave them a script or something, I would just like drop a few, you know, conversation points to see if they've read it. Be like, okay, so what did you think about this scene? Or like, you know, I don't know, maybe like a mini test, but not really a test, but just to see if they even read it, you know? So anyways, we're going to keep going. We're going to read this. Okay. So again, and let me show you a picture. Do you guys remember James Vituscka, right? He worked at Daily Mail, and he was putting out articles, and he was trying to get information. He was getting information from like Stephanie Jones and from Leslie Sloan. And he was trying to like corroborate it with Wayfair. And then he kind of got caught up in all of this, because we'll just read it, because this is kind of how it went down. It says it's 36, but it goes, what does Vague say? She says, you can't play a role if you don't have the background. The more you know about the character, the better you are at the job. Well, I don't think she understands that, because it looks like she was trying to make herself, Lively was trying to put her own character into like this character. I don't know if she was trying to make it like a Disney movie about domestic violence or something. Who knows? But, oh, Khaleesi, you miss your emojis? Do you not have, because you don't have the membership? I'll give out some memberships in a little bit. Hold on. You read that as you can't play a mole. Well, let's just read some of this. Okay. So this is, it just is exhibit 1. It's 1230-58. So I'm going to link this in the chat. It's also in the description if you want to follow along. There you guys go. I just, you know, sometimes I always like to read like whatever there is on screen. I always like to have a link to it myself. So, and let me just make sure I'm still sharing this. Yeah, here we go. So this is all like blacked out. No idea what that is. And then it says, so this is James on the right side. Okay, you guys. Also to Leslie, that I dug around on my own and got information after I talked to her. Tell Leslie. And she's like, don't worry. No, there's no way. And he says, so can I just tell Emma, my editor, that everything is accurate? Sorry, 1 sec. I just needed to show Emma a text that says it's accurate so that we can move forward with it. It doesn't leave me and Emma. And she says, absolutely. And it's me, you know, I'm a complete vault and I am fully on your side. And he says, or you can speak to her. And hold on, let's see if there's a date on here. Do we have a date of these text messages? Well, that would have been helpful, wouldn't it? But I don't see one. And I don't see, when I looked up the exhibit, it didn't have a date for these texts. So, but we'll see if we can come up with, if it comes up later. Okay, so it said, she's calling me back. Don't worry. There's something you shouldn't worry. That's something you shouldn't worry about. Off record, we got your email and we don't have a comment from us, but it's fine to run. So, you know, Wayfair wasn't commenting on a lot of things. And then here's some kind of like TikTok, and it says, Justin got so mad. It says, also the PAP story, please, for Travis. And he's like, please tell Leslie to not tell Colleen. I spoke to Colleen. I swore on my life. Also told her to never say we spoke. I'm extremely worried about this. I should have never said her name, or this should have never said her name. Sorry. I told her to deny it if anyone asks if we spoke. So, I mean, that was kind of the part of the problem with James, in my opinion, was like, you know, he's like, okay, I promised Leslie I wouldn't say anything. Okay, I'm going to tell you this, but don't tell Leslie. I mean, it was like, you're doing that with all these people, like these PR people who all do that. So eventually everything's going to get out. There's no vaults in PR. when your vault is, that's why you have someone like Bryan Freedman, in my opinion, or, because then you have like the privilege there. So there's kind of like that legal privilege, but here, not really. So anyways, interesting though, right? Because he spoke to Colleen. And so that's why I just wish I knew what date this was. So she says, I promise. And then he says, Ryan, and then this is James, okay? Ryan Reynolds was not a fan of Justin. He thinks he needs a little humility. And when it comes to learning his craft, he should sit down and shut the F up and listen to someone who knows what they're talking about. And then Jen says, he bloody loved him. He's leaving his wife for him. And he says, allegedly. And she's like, I like mine better. And then he's like, okay, so the story involving Justin is basically this. I've heard that there is a second side to the story, which is that Blake and Ryan put a ton of money into the film, thinking that we give them complete creative control, and that didn't work out for them. And Sony said, F you, nice try, threatened to fire her, and she was pissed off. Isn't that like interesting that he got that story? And he says, one of them stating that she was there every day. And she says, he cannot disprove this. And he says, okay, so the other story involving Justin is basically this. I've heard that there's a second side to the story. Okay, so I think this is like her responding because it repeats like twice. So you know how like when you respond to a text, it repeats the text kind of? That's what I think that is. And she's like, I don't think this is true. He's like, oh, really interesting. More BS from Stephanie Jones' world. So already he said he's talked to Colleen, right? So Colleen's been speaking with him, that he's talked to Leslie. Leslie said some shit. And then now like more BS from Stephanie Jones. So he's saying that this is from Stephanie Jones, right? Isn't that interesting? Are you guys following? Is this interesting to you all? Okay. Hey, chat. Hey, Trish. Hey, by the way, you guys, can we just say congratulations to Trish? She is our very first chat baby. She had a baby, and as far as I know, she's the very first one since I've had a YouTube channel. So I just want to say congratulations. And I'm so excited for you. And thanks for always being here. And I'm just so happy. So I know a lot of people were excited for you, but I didn't get a chance to personally like say thank you. So I want to say to say congratulations. I want to say congratulations. You're not supposed to disclose your sources. Well, you're not, right? But here we go. Deborah says, all these texts are like the left side doesn't know what the right side is saying. They all contradict. They're bananas. Hey, Jungle Vegil, how are you? Okay. Yay, chat baby. Congratulations. So just wanted to say that to Trish. So we're going to keep going. And also thank you to Christina, because she was the one who told me. So Christina always knows everything. She is the best. Same with Khaleesi. Khaleesi, how are you doing? My two mods. Okay. And Laura, who's not here, but she's also the best. All right, let's keep going. I have to go back to that page. Okay, the IP, and okay, so this is Jen. This is who I'm assuming is Jen, because, right, it's obviously not, I don't think it's Melissa Nathan. I don't think it's Stephanie Jones, so I think it has to be Jen. The IP and the film on the rights are owned by Wayfair. Sony owns a part, but it's not as much as you would think from what I've heard. I can't believe there's so much interest in this. I literally don't know who he was until last week. So whoever this is this, do you guys think this is Jen Abel or is this Melissa Nathan? I think it's Jen because I swear we hear about Melissa Nathan later on. And also, when is this? How could she not have heard about Baldoni until last week? We'll keep going. Okay, so so he says that again. I think that someone inside of her camp was trying to spin things back in his favor. The story that I got 470,000 views so far. And then he does like painting nails. And she says, that is absolutely insane, but well done, LOL. And he says, okay, so the other story involving Justin's base. Okay, so he repeats that. Super interesting if Blake and Ryan didn't really try to hijack the movie with their money, though, because this was sworn to me. People are so full of F some. Okay, here we go. Here's the date down here. So now this is August 14th, 2024. So maybe this had to have been Melissa Nathan, because Jen obviously knew who he was at that point. Sorry, as you can see, I got swept into an effing whirlwind of shit. And he's like, wait, what? Girl, I can't see nothing. I'm just trying to get Rebel up today. LOL. She's like, I hate everyone. He's like, what the F? Who is Brian, Marks, Adam, Levy? And why are the dripping your name. Oh, shoot. It's a Hollywood reporter. She says 5 minutes. He says, okay, you're a star. She's like, oh, please, still on the phone. And he says, probably planted by Hilzik. I'm such a loser. You know it. LOL. And then he says, he has a vendetta, upset about Deb leaving for you. Well, and everyone. I just found out Stephanie Jones is the one pushing out the story on me. So this probably is Melissa Nathan then, right? So it's not Jen Abel. I'm going to have to fix that slide. That has to be, right? This has to be Melissa Nathan. Sloan, you think it's Sloan? Well, he already talked about Sloan in the beginning though, remember? I'll show you. Unless I read it wrong. Hold on, this is page 9. Let me go back to the top because he says, also to Leslie that I dug around, tell Leslie that I dug around on my own and got information after I talked to her. So I don't think it's Sloan. I think this has to be Nathan at this point because then they're talking about the rebel thing and that wasn't Abel. That wasn't Abel. That was Melissa Nathan. So this has to be because remember, Stephanie Jones had a vendetta against Melissa Nathan because she wouldn't work for her, allegedly, in my opinion. And he says, manage your crisis. She's like, I don't know why the F she keeps going after me. He's like, of course, why would she push the story out on you if that was her client, or did she lose him? And she's like, he's gone in 2 weeks, which is true, remember? Because he was going to leave when Jennifer Abel left. And he's like, oh, signing with you? Not for a story, LOL. And she's like, I cannot. And he's like, it's going to look like you planned all this. I think she's doing it on purpose. And she's like, that's what I'm saying, James. That's what I keep saying. And then this is something like, have you talked to Leslie? And she's like, she knows. And she's like, okay, good. And then it says, we had our chat last night. So who was it that did remember they did the agreement that both sides weren't going to talk. So this has to be Melissa Nathan. And hold on, StreamYard's doing that thing again where my chat is like stalled. So I'm going to have to go into my stream on YouTube. Oops. So I can see you all. Oh my gosh. Do we have a new member? Kenny. Oh, wow. Wait, why isn't this pulling up? I'll have to go starred. Thank you, Kenny, for becoming a YouTube member. I really appreciate it. Did we ever link your stuff? Did you DM me? Let me check. Well, you're gonna have to DM me and then I can add it, okay? And if you're in the replay crew, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna put it in the description anyway. So thank you, Kenny. That is so awesome. It's her MilkJugz song. Really good. I think it should be like the anthem of this case. So thank you so much. All right, here we go. And if you do become a member, you guys, you can use the cool emojis. We also have MilkJug emojis. We have squirrel emojis. We have some really cool emojis. Hey, Prickly Pear, how are you? Well, howdy, everyone. Didn't realize anyone else was doing a live. I know I've been waiting for kind of like a moment to go because so much has been happening. But so after Cassidy finished today, I was like, okay, I'll go. This is perfect timing because I want to just finish this. And I really want to get into Aaron Spencer after this. So this, hey, Suk, how are you? It says, Leslie Sloan says she calls JB an animal because she felt like it in her deposition. She kept repeating, because I felt like it. She's such a jerk, isn't she? I don't like her. Okay, so you still think it's Leslie Sloan, Lori? Okay, well, we're going to keep going. I think it has to be Melissa Nathan. Here, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to make a poll, and you guys can just tell me. He keeps saying it's Jones. Oh, yeah, no, he keeps saying that Jones is the leak. Oh, Lori, there are more texts of James V? Yeah, but so have you already read this one? Have you guys seen this one yet? Do you want me to move on to something else? You guys tell me. Or I'm going to keep going. And I don't want to bore no one. Okay, so let me just try to do a poll. How are you guys doing? You guys are so funny. Okay, let me see. And now, of course, I can't figure out. I used to be able to know how to do this. Oh, here we go. Create a poll. Yeah, read it. Okay. So who is James texting? And you guys can tell me if you think it is. I think it has to be Nathan, because they also mentioned the rebel thing. And then Stephanie Jones, remember when they put out that like hit piece about like who were Baldoni's hired the PR people? So who else would it be at this point? I don't think it could be Abel, because it says they just found out who he was last week. Okay, that's the poll. I'm not really good at polls, so you guys, there we go. So we're gonna keep going. All right, so it says we had an hour chat last night. So all the stuff that I came with Leslie to on Friday ended up coming to fruition, just not through our outlet. I refrained from doing it to put out the truth, and I feel like I should be rewarded. So he feels like he should be rewarded because he's withheld the stuff that Leslie told him because he wants to put out the truth, but some other outlet ran with it. There's something missing with all of this, and nobody has gotten it yet. I agree with him. I totally agree with him. I just know something had to have happened that was like a definitive FU. This is not all over attitude and everything. It's something bigger. And as much as I love Leslie, Blake is getting a lot of hate right now because of the fact that she's promoting this movie as if it's a comedy. Justin is smart. He's in Switzerland, wherever the F he's at, talking about the seriousness of the film. Nice work, LOL. With family, foreign land, supporting abused women's charities, a true feminist, perfection. The victim of a hate campaign brought on by an evil witch, Blake, and her power-hungry empire husband, Ryan. You are Richard Gere. If you don't know what I mean, cue one of the best movie scenes of all time. I don't know what that is. It's something from the scene that won an Oscar. I don't know. Chicago, I guess. I don't know. I'd be amazing in crisis PR, like for real, LOL, FFF. I knew this would happen, and he posts something. And then she says, I'm going to go swimming because I'm at a hotel and I've been in the room on the phone since 7 a.m. So I'm going to ignore all messages for 30 minutes. He's like, yes, please do. I sent the banner to Leslie. She should have given me something to refute it with, but hasn't responded. And this is what happens when I don't have anything better to put out to shut this down. So obviously he sends her something. And then he says, are you in the hurricane, Ernesto? She's like, I am. He's like, oi, okay, number 2 and number 3 story right now. Actually, 2, 3, and 4. And she says, even the message last night sent out by the studio really backfired on Variety because when they double down that way, it looks even worse. And it looks like Ryan has forced the studio to make something, which she did. Melissa, the answer money is no. Okay, perfect. And she was never threatened to be fired. What the F happened? This is missing something big. Why won't Justin? Okay, so what does this mean? Melissa, the answer about money is no. Is that like saying it's from her? I'm so confused. Do you guys know what's going on here? Oh, let's see how my poll's doing. Maybe you guys have some. Yeah, you're saying it's Nathan also, right? But then what is she saying right there? Yeah, it's not Leslie Sloan for sure. What are we reading, guys? Okay, so we are reading. Let me send you a link to. I already put it in the chat, but I'll do it again. It's also in the description. We're reading. These are text with. It's James Vituscka, and I just felt like because it kind of like it was how this was unfolding. I felt like when everything was unfolding, he was on the right side. Like he knew something didn't smell right. He immediately knew Blake was a biatch. He knew that Ryan was a psycho, in my opinion, allegedly. Based on what he's saying, he knew that he admits that Stephanie Jones was the one who leaked that story initially about like, oh, Justin had to hire crisis PR. So it seems like it is to me. And then whoever he's speaking with hadn't heard of Baldoni until last week. So, and she said that they were just hired like a week ago. So this has to be someone. It either has to be someone from TAG. So it could also be like maybe Case or Coslow, but the exhibit is Vituscka. So it's from his phone. So we don't really know who this is yet, but we're going to find out hopefully by the end. Okay. He's like, okay, perfect. And she never threatened to be fired. What the F happened? This is missing something big. Why won't Justin just get honest and be like, this is what happened? Then this could all go away. And they said, honest to God, because your spidey senses are up. I know what you're saying. And he's like, LOL. He's like, but truly, there's no massive thing or expose. It's a bunch of little things that they are not even able to come out with because it looks ridiculous. And she says, I don't even know how to say it. Dumoy just posted, if they didn't use Blake's cut of the movie, that Taylor Swift song wouldn't be able to have been used. And then she posts like a link to something, but I'm getting a list for you. And he's like, is all that true? And she's like, what? The Des Moines? It's very informative. She's like, oh, she got good connects, but I don't know if it's all true. And it says love letter and co-star comments, need something to turn in, even just a few examples, not mine, F. Let's see. Was just writing that she's like, as your one will have a banging headline and points twin things out. It's different. RW wants to chat and say hi tomorrow. Who's RW? Oh, Rebel Wilson, right? Rebel Wilson wants to chat and say hi tomorrow. Are you too busy moving? Just 5 minutes. And he's like, I'd love to. Okay, so then she posts something, Betty Buzz on Instagram, on NYC Betty Bloom pop-up. She's like, to be honest, this is insane marketing considering the topic. I feel a little slighted. Like, it is true. And again, so this is early August, because now we're in August 17th. And says, I told Leslie today that if Blake was ever going to start a charity for abused women, now would be the time. I think like it actually would have been not really the right time. It would have been too like performative, in my opinion. Sure, but it also, she says, sure, but also looks way too performatory if she did. Is that a word? What she needs to do is not double down by saying this. She isn't speaking on this, but actually speak on it. She should say, I got into this film for all the right reasons. I'm a giant proponent of women's rights and have always been. I hate being in this position to even make the statement, but blah, blah, blah. Like on a live, she needs to be relatable. Also, I told you, Leslie Sloan, literally all of this hate is organic. What's that mean, organic? And she says, she thinks all the social media stuff is me, but it's organic. It's not manufactured. He's like, yes. Did you tell Leslie to stop having her to do interviews? She stopped trying to control Daily Mail because we've literally done 1,000 posts on Blake now. Oh my God, we ran Taylor while I was moving out. Thank you again. I just noticed. And Leslie, no response. And it says how Blake lively copied Taylor Swift while promoting It Ends With Us. It says she can recover if Leslie plays her cards right. My new place has a view. So he moved during this time also. Yes. Did you tell Leslie to stop having her do interviews? And it says she's not really talking to me, to be honest, which is fine. All this is redacted, a bunch of redacted. Oops, sorry. I told her you've not told me one word, anything anti-Blake, which you haven't. And then she said she lost it at me. And James, I would tell you we were close enough now and we've been through a few wars and I consider an actual friend no matter what. I don't even care if you do anything negative on my clients because that's both of our jobs. But she completely lost it at me and told me she had a reporter read out our text verbatim that I had written. And I laughed because if I was doing that, I would never do it on a text. Honest to God, I've done nothing. This was so easy. And there's been about 30 pieces of press on me calling me a genius and I didn't do anything. I usually do. It was super organic. She thinks I've paid for TikToks. I didn't even have a TikTok until last week when I needed to see what people were saying about me online, but I have a theory. And he says the reporter definitely was not me. I told her straight up, no. And she's like, and I am really effing pissed off about my theory. I didn't talk to anyone else. And he's like, what's your theory? You want me to call you? And she says, yes. Also, thank you for standing up for me. I will forever do the same for you. Also, and then he says, it's what friends do. I mean, who else would tell you, biatch, use the Zoom beauty filter? It's everything. And she's like, we need a Zoom with filters. And then he says, and I love that it doesn't have anything noting that you're using it so nobody knows. Oh, like the Zoom filter doesn't let anyone know you're using it. I didn't know there was a beauty filter on Zoom. Okay, so that's the best. I hate when TikTok does that S. Oh, yeah, because TikTok tells you what filter you're using. That's funny. And then it says Billy for the win. I'm guessing that's like a Stranger Things thing. And then he's like, he's like, please save that Ryan Reynolds story for me. Ryan Reynolds broke strike to secretly direct major film as wife Blake Lively career takes nosedive. Blake Lively forces husband Ryan Reynolds to break strike to direct It Ends With Us. So I think he was like shopping headlines to her, right? Or maybe joking them. And she's like, I'm not commenting on any of this. And then he says, no, just point me in direction of statistics available. I will say I just gave it some thought about when the film began production. And she's like, let's chat Monday. And then he says, dead fool. Ryan Reynolds betrayed actor pals by breaking strike to secretly direct wife Blake Lively's controversial film It Ends With Us. He's like, okay, I'm done. Dead fool is great, though. That is great. I like that one. Dead fool. So I think he was just like doing some fun headlines. And then she's like, I'm not commenting as Leslie is going to kill me if she feels I've got anything to do with that. And then there's a link to a Variety article that of It Ends With Us sequel in doubt amid Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni feud. There's probably no world where they work together again. Okay, so now we're at the end of August, August 27th. I have the best story for you in the world. You're going to die. Call me when you can. It's why reps should never lie. Can we discuss this tomorrow? We can't see what these are. Can you give me anything off the record? I refuse to talk to Leslie Sloan. She's full of shit. And then she's like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Can we chat in the morning? Love the way she's saying she didn't start this or play stories. I didn't play stories. Me. It was organic, as you know, super tired. Her and Stephanie Jones are ruining 9 women and their families, and none of us have silver spoons. He's like, which 9 women? Blake, Lindsay, Katie. So who's Lindsay? You guys, I will help get the truth out there to millions tomorrow. Leslie effed me hard this week on a story she told me info on. And she's like, you know the truth of all of it. And he said, then said, sorry, she lied and tried to get it taken down when she was the source. And then whatever that is redacted. And remember, there's few things that are redacted at this point. So that whatever this is, I'm very curious. And he's like, I do 100%. Justin never essayed Blake. Justin never essayed Blake. She is trying to play victim to salvage her career and reputation after it went down the drain because she is a bitch. And everyone knows it. She and Ryan tried to heist the movie and make it theirs when Ryan had no place doing anything to begin with. She talks about changing the scenes. Ryan added an effing scene and rewrote it. I'll get all of this out there tomorrow. Truth must be told again. And then she says, and my text, it's all tongue in cheek because we're like, look how good I am because we did nothing. It was organic. Not Blake's lying victim narrative. Anyone who knows you knows that. And then she's like, I'm so quiet as a person. I'm so loyal. I help everyone. So this has crushed me. He's like, oh no, you can't. It will pass. So he's just saying this will pass. All right. Stephanie Jones took Jen Abel's phone. So this is not Jen. I think this has to be Melissa Nathan, right, you guys? Stephanie Jones took Jen Abel's phone and gave it to Leslie Sloan while still under contract with Justin Baldoni. So she gave private info while he was still a client. There is no subpoena. That's made up. They cherry-picked text. What smear? The smear was organic. Wow. What is the date on? Why? I wish that. So this is December 22nd. So this is the day after that article dropped, right? Leslie Sloan has a personal vendetta against you, and I know this because she's told me. She's like, I know that has to play into the lawsuit. And she said I ruined her client's reputation to my face. And he's like, I'll back you on that when I did nothing wrong. On the stand, if you need to. And he's like, he said, oh, I'll back you on that on the stand if need to. So he's still on their side at this point. At least that's what we're seeing from here. She says, thank you. I tried to be so fair. I didn't place one story. You know I didn't. And he's like, oral affidavit, whatever it takes. Well, James, the affidavit you did was terrible. But we don't know why that happened. Was he bullied into it? Was he blackmailed? Was he threatened? How are you guys doing? Are you all still here? Are you still engaged? Let me go check on that poll real quick. Yeah, 95%. I'm going to end the poll. 95% say that it is that this is Melissa Nathan. If it was Melissa, it would say, okay, hold on, let me pull that up. I have to go to StreamYard. Sorry, I was in the wrong thing. Where'd you go, Christina? My StreamYard is so much more behind. No idea. Yes, this is Vituscka. Oh, you think it's Sarah Nathan and not Melissa Nathan? But I think this has to be Melissa Nathan because she's saying like she was hired, right before it. She's saying that Rebel Wilson was her client and that Stephanie Jones has a vendetta. He keeps inserting himself in this case. I think he was fired from Mainstream Media Next or MSN Next. Daily Mail said he wasn't only fired from this case, he committed arson and some other things that led to his firing. I don't remember the arson. I thought the only arsonist in this case was Ryan Reynolds. In the other text, he's talking to Jones. He plays the game with her too. Well, if you guys know what exhibit number that is, you can tell me and I'll pull that up. Is that on this docket or is that on Jones's docket? Okay. Oh, here. If it was Melissa, it would say that is who he's talking. In fact, it doesn't means they aren't involved in this case, in your opinion. I would think that too, but then remember why that's how I got tricked last time. Remember when there was the Jen Abel text last time? And it was in her exhibit. It was on the Abel docket, and I read the whole thing, and I was like, "Who is this?" And I couldn't, and it was obviously Jen because you can see it was a group text, and people refer to the person as Jen. But for whatever reason, her name was redacted. So I think this has to be Melissa Nathan. Because Stephanie Jones didn't even know who did she know who Case and Coslow, did Coslow used to work for her? Maybe she did know them. What about the verbiage, he bloody loved him, that is an American? Maybe, but this is someone that says that, like, there was no, like, she told him no comment from our team, right? The Wayfarer team. So it has to be someone representing Wayfarer. Oh, you think it's Jed? Maybe. But okay, maybe, but I don't know. Because I feel like, isn't he more of like the internet? Like, I don't think like he talks to the mainstream media. And also, Melissa, her client at that time was, Melissa is British. Melissa Nathan's British. Well, though I don't think it's Melissa though, because she wasn't hired by Wayfarer, And this is someone who says that she said no comment. So I think it still could be, I still think it could be Melissa Nathan. Oh, Melissa is British, sorry. Because there's Sarah Nathan, Melissa Nathan. Okay. Oh, Melissa Nathan's British? I had no idea. I'm shocked. Oh my God. Khaleesi became a member. Thank you so much. That's so nice. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You did not have to do that. You're a mod. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Oh, wait. It looks like I have another one. Oh, you became a member. Oh my God. You became a member for 2 months. Khaleesi, I love you so much. Like, you're so sweet. I know, as a mod, like, you always have my back. Even like, when was it in the comment section at that video I posted? People kept saying it was too fast because I had put it on 1.25 when I was clipping it. And you're like, you can always slow it down. Like, you were so nice. You totally had my back. I appreciate it so much. And you did not have to do that, but I really, really appreciate it. And she did it because she missed the emojis. Because we have amazing emojis. And it's so true because I love it actually in the chat. Khaleesi she'll use them all, like when she's like saying hi to everyone and responding. So it's pretty cool. You can't handle live shows. Why? Am I too ADHD? I'm so sorry. Well, I'm going to go back to reading. Sorry, Lottie, but it was good to see you. And I timestamp all of these. So when people do come back on replay, so like they can skip right to sections if they want to see it. So I'm going back. Let's continue reading. So here we go. Of course, Leslie and Stephanie dream team. Oh, sorry. Wait. Okay. Or the affidavit. She's like, I didn't need to. And he's like, no, she placed them. And Stephanie Jones is the worst. She's like, of course, Leslie and Stephanie dream team. She wants screenshots. Here you go. And then he gives some screenshots. The vendetta is laid out in her own words in many texts. Feel free to use them. She's like, thank you. Thank you. I've got more. Just let me know. She's like, send all. I'm on with Bryan. Cross complaint, which you will get first. So it is someone that's on, that's in tag. The crazy thing, read the New York Times, is that they did a story that's all planned and and said that we were smearing. Like, what? And my job is crisis, in which Leslie Sloan works on crisis. And then he says, this shows what a liar she is. Then he gives like 2 more texts. And I'm guessing one of these texts are probably the one, or screenshots, but I'm guessing it's screenshots of text. And then he says, she said the whole cast hates Justin. This has nothing to do with Blake. And now she's saying that Blake was SA'd. Why wouldn't she say anything about that then? She knows she is full of it. She told me that the whole issue was that everybody hates Justin, nothing about Blake and Justin. She said it has nothing to do with Blake, BS. And she's like, I know. All right, so now we're into December 23rd. she's like, it's Bryan Freedman, LOL, Andy. Is there any way it could be really high up in their story? And then he says, this was sent to the news desk who wrote it. I cannot tell them where to include it, but it's in their first third. Told them to fix Andy. Thank you. My editor wants to hold out for the cross complaint since that will likely have it all in there. And she's like, that won't be till January. He's like, oh, shoot. Let me see what can do this was from our editor-in-chief. And she's like, it's not fair because they cover everything else. And he's like, I'm trying to see what we can do. Stand by. He's like, I love Bryan. She says, me too. We are running it. Thank you. And she says, thank you. Now it's the 24th, day before Christmas. And then it says, she said Stephanie Jones is a liar, then asked for details of the people on her team. Then she says she will have the whole cast go on record. I'll send to Freeman. Hey, can we get any more information on Blake? Anything person about how she's handling it, if she's leaning on Pookie? Oh, I'm guessing this is this Rebel Wilson? All of these stories have done so well. And she's like, honestly, I'm too in the middle of all this stuff. They've been really quiet. I think our next call is the 26th. Stephanie Jones has now put out a thing that she's suing me and Jen. I'm like, what the F? I didn't even work for you. And he's like, what? Just read the docs. This is getting insane because they are not telling the truth. She's like, I know. Imagine how I feel. I was just hired for a job for 2 months. And he's like, this will blow over, but you can understand how stressful it must be. The truth will prevail. We both know the type of people that Leslie and Stephanie are. It will come out in the wash. And she's like, what thing? That thing you sent me. Oh, sorry. He says, that thing you sent me, who wrote it? And she says, what thing? Oh, Puck, Matt Belloni, and Eric Gardner. And then, so I recently just saw an article from Puck, you guys, and I've like never heard of them, but I guess were they like somehow like working with WME, I think is what I heard. Anyways, oh, who are they? Where was it published? It's really good. And it says, it's the biggest trade newsletter. It's huge. It's famous. If you sign up, you'll get it too. He's like, XO, sweet, I'll sign up. I really need to stay on top of all this stuff with you because I want to break all of it. I have a feeling that this script will flip because they effed up. And everyone is so anti-Justin that they're going to be anti-everything when he comes with, because they have to be, because a whole feminist Me Too shit. No one still likes Blake. They are just pretending they do because of the victim mentality and her powerful husband just saying, she's like, hi, can you talk in 30? He's like, yeah, try it. You just invited you to Signal, join Signal. I'm going to send you this stuff. Then call me back after you listen to the voice note. He's like, okay, check your Signal. And then this was the statement from Bryan Freedman. You guys remember this, or do you want me to read this? I could just read. This is the 31st. This is the day before Christmas, or the day before New Year's Eve. He's like, this was his statement. In this vicious smear campaign fully orchestrated by Blake Lively and her team, the New York Times covered to the wants and whims of two powerful, untouchable Hollywood elites, disregarding journalistic practices and ethics, once befitting of the revered publication, by using doctored and manipulated text and intentionally omitting texts which dispute their chosen PR narrative. In doing so, they predetermined the outcome of their story and aided and abetted their own devastating PR smear campaign designed to revitalize Lively's self-induced, floundering public image and counter the organic groundswell of criticism amongst the online public. The irony is rich. Make no mistake, however, as we all unite to take down the New York Times by no longer allowing them to deceive the public, we will continue this campaign of authenticity by also suing those individuals who have abused their power to try to destroy the lives of my clients. While their side embraces partial truths, we embrace the full truth and have all of the communications to back it. The public will decide for themselves, as they did when this first began. Bryan Freedman. And it's kind of like, it's a little haunting to read this now, isn't it? After we've seen everything, because it is true. I mean, everything that has come out unsealed on Wayfarer's side and Lively's side. There's one truth here. And it's that Wayfarer was the victim. Lively is not a victim of anything here. Okay, let me see how the chat's doing real quick. Oh, do we see Lena? Who is James? Okay, James Vituscka. He was the journalist from the Daily Mail who was like breaking some of these stories. And so he was like talking with the PR reps from Lively and from Wayfarer. And on Wayfarer's side, he was talking with both Stephanie Jones and Melissa Nathan, it looks like, and maybe Jen Abel. So there was all this drama with the Stephanie Jones being the leak to the Daily Mail, like putting out these stories like about Blake when Wayfair told her not to, and then about Justin hiring this crisis PR team because she has a vendetta against Melissa Nathan. So then he ended up getting fired from the Daily Mail for being involved in this case because he ends up being in this case. His texts come out as proof because he had text saying that like Leslie Sloan is saying that Justin like harassed Blake, but then he said S8 instead of sexually harassed. And so that turned into this whole thing. Then he somehow didn't, he had an affidavit, retracted it, then did one for Leslie Sloan. It was a mess. And so it's like a crazy, like this part of the case is so crazy to me. And I feel like there's so many other crazy things that we barely talk about it, but I really wanted to know more of the backstory. So when I saw these texts, I was like, I want to know how this went down. Hey Trish, just finished feeding baby, but I heard the shout out earlier. Thank you, DFJ, and everyone in the chat for your kind words. I love hanging out with you all. Well, we love hanging out with you too. Congratulations again. Michelle, I also struggling listening to lives will be in the comments, but I can always go back and listen on faster speed. Awesome. Okay, well, let's keep going. Oh, I saw Vig. You've never heard of Puck. I know. And I just saw actually like literally this week, there was like an article put out by them on this case. So, but I ignored it because I thought that they were like a WME, like they were somehow have a thing with them. Okay. Hey, Gigi, how are you? Oh, you're going to jump in, going back to the beginning. Okay, awesome. Well, we'll see you when you catch up. Every bit of this is on Stephanie Jones. I agree. I mean, and the whole, like the way that she took the phone and the messages, I mean, I honestly think that, in my opinion, there should be criminal charges against Stephanie Jones because there's laws about that. Like, even though she says that she owns the device of the phone, she doesn't own Abel's iCloud. Like, she doesn't own the thing she was accessing on that phone. And so what she did was so wrong. And then she also had these confidentiality clauses with her clients that she clearly breached, in my opinion. And when she got the alleged subpoena from Vansham, she didn't even try to fight it, which is what she was supposed to have done. If anyone is still a client of hers right now, just knowing that she just turned over all that private data without even sending back a letter saying like, you need to file, like you need to file subpoenas like with the actual like, phone company or data company or like, she didn't even make them like do anything. She just rolled over because in my opinion, she was complicit. Okay. Should we keep reading? I'm just going to put a little, I'm going to put a poll. We're almost done actually. Oh, there's only a page left. So I'm not going to put a poll. We're going to finish reading this, you guys, for completeness. Okay. So now look how much this fast forward. So this is June of 2025. Okay. He says, hey, can you please call me? I don't know what is going on, but no matter what it is, I can take it. For 3 weeks, all I wanted was this declaration to be withdrawn because it's not truthful and contains info I told them not to include, and because I was forced to sign it. Now everyone acting strange and no one responding to me. Okay, so who wants to be the sleuth that checks when that declaration was that he wrote with Leslie Sloan? Let me see if I have it. Let's see what that date was. It was 2025. Let me see if I have it. If you guys know that date, but I think he has to be talking about the Leslie Sloan one. Yeah, you guys let me know if you find it. I'm pretty sure it's in June though. Let's go back to reading it. Okay, hey, can you call me, please? Okay, so he says, now everyone's acting strange. And she's like, morning, I'm a little under the weather with a giant migraine. There's nothing else happening to my knowledge. I sent all to Bryan Freedman, and he didn't say much more to me. I am not in direct contact with Mark G over any of your situation at all. So there's nothing off happening at all on our side. You need to get a hold of Mark and team and ask what the F is going on. I wish I had all the info on your stuff, but I don't. I am full drowning in our stuff and all the crap that they are throwing at us nonstop. You have to ask him for a call ASAP and tell him you need a plan for this week and you cannot just wait around and see, especially now that you have lost your job due to Leslie Sloan's actions. They need to tell you what their plan is ASAP. He says, okay, thanks. I thought you were mad at me for some reason. I'm sorry you were not feeling good. This really takes a toll on your body and mind. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm not mad at you at all. I feel absolutely desperately unhappy for you. I feel so unhappy for you. It's made me even sadder. And yes, this has taken the biggest toll on all of us, your mind, your body, exhaustion, and you can't sleep, all because of some stupid effing egotistical maniac can't believe that no one liked her. What a great line that is, right? I mean, that just says it all, right? I just can't believe I'm in this for the sake of a 3-week period. Because she was only hired, remember? Well, it's not 3 weeks. You were hired for 3 months, I believe. And she's like, I can't believe I'm in this for the sake of the 3-month period, I think is what she meant. But maybe she only did work for 3 weeks. Okay, so then he says, I can't believe Daily Mail is blaming me for articles that they benefited from and fired me after we filed a whistleblower complaint alleging that I lied and I said in court documents that Justin Baldoni assaulted Blake. This is what the company told me in their letter of termination. I was like, Jesus Christ, not this sentence again. They also said that I had to be removed from every story on Blake since January, and I've only done 92 in actuality. Anyways, it's all water beneath the bridge now. All we can focus on, and it's cut off. I'm praying that there will be a way for our truth to shine through. And she said, same, keep the faith. I'm always here for you. Sorry for the freak out. And she's like, listen, it's so hard to not freak out. I'm always here. So yeah, so this was after he was fired. Then this was said he was forced to sign something. So that must have been the Leslie Sloan declaration that she was trying to get the financial, she was trying to get the money, financial damages, remember? And then there was that declaration, and it seemed like he must have been forced to sign it, but it was just wrong in my opinion. And if he was fired and if it is true that like, because he lost his job and he was homeless, and so maybe like he felt forced to, I mean, these are powerful people. And then all of a sudden he had nothing. Maybe he was threatened. I don't know. But it's just, Kate Bella is not buying it. James, I'm such a victim because I lie to everyone. That could totally be a look. So, okay. All right. The chat's not buying it at all. They said, F around and find out, James. All right. Okay. You guys are true. Yeah, I hear you. I think, why are people surprised when you out it as leaking like a sieve? Okay. Yes. You guys are all, yeah, you think that was June? I think so too. All right, so that's what y'all think. Okay. All right. Well, I just thought it was interesting. I didn't know if you guys had read that one before, but that was kind of like, I just wanted more answers about like what happened with James, what went down with James. And so that was one of my highlights. So let's go back to this tab. So I said it's Jen and Abel text. So I'm going to have to go back and fix that and say, I think that was the Jen, Melissa, Nathan text. And then, and what I was kind of surprised about in this whole Unsealing saga, I was disappointed in the Van Zandt deposition because I'm just like, it's a shell company to pay employees now. I felt like we didn't get enough. I feel like there's so much more we need to know about Van Zandt. Oh yeah. Okay. So this was one of the quotes. So this was in an email, in one of the Unsealing exhibits where Brian Freedman wrote this email to Adam Rice at NBC on February 5th, 2025. And it says, hold on, let me just make sure you guys can see this. Okay. Yeah. Let me go back. It says, you're a liar and dishonest, and we are drafting letters in a lawsuit against you personally. You have had the transcript from the court hearing and have defamed our client intentionally. I will never, ever let up going after you for the rest of my career. Someone better make this right immediately. You're hanging up the phone. Your arrogance and your incompetence will never be tolerated. I am coming after you in every legal way possible. To my team, start drafting. So I think Brian Freedman is the kind of lawyer that you want in your corner, like he fights for you. And I just thought that was a good one of my favorite quotes so far. And then I thought this one was really funny too, because this was in one of the deposition excerpts from Blake Lively. And Brian Freedman asked, does negative press bother you? And she's like, I'm used to it after this many years in the industry, but it's not something I've had to deal with often. And he says, well, I mean, it's true that you dealt with negative press with respect to being married on a plantation during kind of the height of Black Lives Matter. Is that right? I mean, just so funny. I love this man. I think he's really funny. This was just, the part of the Van Zandt deposition that I was just like, because they say, the lawyer for because they had a lawyer, right, that did the deposition for Van Zandt. And it says, they say there were also 2 public filings related to Van Zandt that I also reviewed. And the question says, who are the owners of Van Zandt? And it says Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, are each 50% owners in the company. And the question says, has that always been the case? They say yes. And then they say, and who are the officers of Van Zandt? It says Miss Lively is the president, Ryan Reynolds is the vice president and the CFO. And it says, and has this always been the case? It says yes, but that's not true. So this was the filing from like January 2025. And the only name on it is Ryan Reynolds, right? And then it says number of women directors on the board of directors that are, number of directors on the board of directors that are women. It says 0. So are they just saying Lively's not a woman, or like, is she just not part of this company? I just think there's too many lies here. And then again, more. So this was, this is more of like the Van Zandt public. These are all public documents, and just as the CEO's name and address, it has Ryan Reynolds. And then it says, and then, are there any other agents? Why doesn't it say her name anywhere on this? Oops. Uh-oh, did that show on my stream? I hope not. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, so that might be the end of that slide. I think there was one more. Oh yeah. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Sorry, I made a little Ezra dancing thing that hopefully that little moment doesn't get me demonetized. But okay, Bella, thank you for the super chat. I also love the Steve S clapback. Oh, Steve Sarwitz is great, isn't he? I love him too. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's so nice of you. Vague says, I guarantee she isn't on the board. I bet he removed her AC. Well, she was never on any of the public documents available for that company. She is only on the Van Zandt Incorporated, which is a different entity with a different, like it has a different business ID number that was registered in Delaware and filed in California. So she was never been listed on this at all from what I've seen. And then, and I wanted to share, okay, so I wanted to go into, let me see if there's anything else on here. Okay, so I wanted to go into Aaron Spencer. And so to transition into that, because I know not all of you are here for the true crime, but the Aaron Spencer case is a really good case. And so we're going to transition to it. And so in the transition, I was going to play one quick video. Hold on. Let me just get to it. As we transition. So that was going to be the end of the end. It ends with us for this evening. And let me get, it was a short, I think. Hold on. Oh, it wasn't. It was a video. Yeah, if you haven't seen it. So I'm going to, let's see if let me share this tab instead. Representatives, producers, showrunners, tour managers, spouses,
not the spouses. Not the spouses, y'all.
Travel agents and beyond.
Hide your wife, hide your husband.
And beyond to coordinate their schedules for press, going as far as successfully begging their bosses to release them for press for our film.
So there's a lot of Bella was a waitress.
Yeah.
You better be practicing waitressing on tables because ain't nobody gonna give her a dang job after her deposition got leaked. Red Lobster, see if they got she better go do something because I firmly believe that her career as an actress is over after that deposition.
Because Isabella's job after this, she was a waitress, so she had to beg. Did she beg the waitress? And notice
how much your boss at the whatever.
I mean, what? Why is she talking to people's spouses? Notice how many times she says begging. She had to and I'm interpreting begging as blackmailing. How many people did you have to blackmail? Blake Lively,
isn't it Fran Drescher, who was president of SAG back then? So wait. I wonder if it was Fran who was
president of SAG
in 2024.
How did you know that? Yeah,
Fran Drescher, because it was during the strikes and all that. I'm into I'm a film buff.
So Fran was the one who like oversaw giving it to her. And
Yes, I didn't know that Sean Astin had replaced her. So that was recent, elected late 2025. So
I have to give all the credit goes to the chat. They told me, they taught me that. I wouldn't have
I
even
bought
known who he
patches
was.
myself. Oh my God, this one. Just you read it because I can't no more. Like I just can't. The fucking patches. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss on your stream.
Oh my
Patches.
God. I bought patches myself on Amazon to hand out to fans to match our outfits as a PR push and social media activation. Personally styled my co-star Isabella Ferrer because she didn't have clothes for the shoot.
She didn't have any clothes, y'all. She had no clothes. The Nepo baby Isabella Ferrer had no clothes, y'all.
Talk about the depths of Delulu. Okay,
Her case just collapsed with this. We're gonna get into it. We're
like this is a straight up confession. This just collapses everything.
She should have ran this through chat so she could have told her they didn't need to know what kind of headphones she was wearing. Literally, basically, if you don't give me the PGA credit, then you hate women.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jesse and Max. That's exactly what she was saying. But look at her face. She just looks like a monster in that picture, like little mini moles.
It's like, girl, then get the rights to your own script or write it. You're obviously good at fiction. This is a whole bunch of fiction right here. Write a fiction novel, try to get it funded. You have the money, fund it yourself and do all of it yourself. Manage the politics and HR concerns on a daily basis, acting as an intermediary to keep crew and cast engaged, safe, and on board. So she managed it. She's in charge of HR now. She was in charge of the HR concerns on a daily basis, but never filed an HR claim herself. This letter is comical. Text message was revealed Tuesday as part of Blake's unsealed deposition. That wasn't her deposition, you moron. This is her 56.1. Why are they saying it's her deposition? Taylor Swift. What does that mean? Smoke or no smoke?
It means like if you want like smoke, like if we're actually going to go after her and like she's going to get smoke or if she's not.
So do I say yes or no? Or I just say.
Or just put one that says smoke and one that says
okay,
no
okay, fine. I don't know this language, so I'm just going to.
She's like, I don't know this Gen Z crap.
I know. You have to teach me.
LOL, I love you too. Smoke. This is the quid pro quo that I thought, allegedly, in my opinion only, don't come at me. I appealed to Columbia Pictures to grant Isabella Ferreira the introducing card. So basically, like when the credits are coming in the beginning of the movie, it'll say like introducing Isabella Ferreira. So marking only the 6th time they'd ever granted that in their 100-year history. So no wonder Isabella was like all chummy with her. She got her the introducing card. So now it comes out. Remember we were trying to piece together like who got what? Like Brandon got the all his movies. I have a thread on that on X too.
This is so funny. I wonder how she wrote such a long letter when her pants were on fire. Because liar, pants on fire.
It's when the truth comes. The truth is coming out and it's leaking. You and CJ. Aw, thank you, Karen. Appreciate you.
Okay, so that was that clip. So now we're going to transition into Aaron Spencer. So I have to share this tab instead. 1 second. Okay. You guys, I have been waiting. Yes, Lori's the one who brought us into this case. I'll have to go back and watch because I want to watch Defense Diaries. Are they on now about Aaron Spencer, Lori? Let me see. Well, that would be pretty bad timing for me, wouldn't it? Defense Diaries. I don't see them on live right now. Is it just me? Well, yes, shout out to them. They have done a lot of great coverage on this case. Oh, the other day. Yeah. They went down the courthouse, but you guys, I have followed true crime for so long. I don't think I've ever seen a judge be removed. So, and if you guys want a very quick recap on this case. So hold on, let me just go to the next slide. Yeah, the Supreme Court removed Judge Barbara Elmore from the Aaron Spencer case. Y'all, this is Barbara Elmore. This is what they have on the website. This is what she looks like. And someone else, our anonymous source who's been giving us like insight from the courtroom told me that this is actually like, looks like her like a good day, that she actually looks beat up compared to this. But this is what she's had on the website for, I guess, the past like 50 years. So I just wanted to make sure we had an accurate photo of her. But for those that do not know the case, basically this guy, he had essayed. So this is Michael Fossler, had assaulted Aaron Spencer's 13-year-old daughter, and then he was arrested. They found 43 charges related to the arrest for her, 43 SA charges, and then there was like a restraining order. And then this woman, Judge Barbara Elmore, let him out he only had to pay $5,000. It was a $50,000 bond. And so he was out. And then 3 months later, Aaron Spencer's woken up in the middle of the night by the dog is barking. So he goes and checks on his daughter's room. She's missing. They then track her phone. The mom calls 911. Spencer tries tracking her phone, gets in his car, goes after, then sees like that she's in the car with Michael Fossler, who like there's a restraining order against. And obviously he fears for his daughter's life because she is the sole witness that is she's going to be the one who's going to be able to put him away for the rest of his life. So he does like a pit stop maneuver to stop Michael Fossler, get him off the road. This is a trained Army veteran, by the way. And then he gets in a confrontation with Fossler, and then he ends up unloading his pistol on Fossler, pistol whips him, gets his daughter, gets back in his car, reloads his gun, calls 911. It's like, you better pick up this PDF file who's dead on the side of the road. Then he ends up getting arrested, and the same DA's office that found that this guy was so dangerous, they were able to charge 43 SA charges against him, right? That same DA's office like arrested this guy and charged him with intent to murder, because they said he had intent, because 3 months prior he said that that he wanted to hunt this guy down, which he never did, which is like that. It wasn't until an act of kidnapping that he went and he saved his daughter. She was in imminent danger, and it was self-defense, and he went and he saved his daughter. So this judge was somehow Aaron Spencer's case ended up on this same judge's desk. How? I don't know. Like, isn't that weird? You would think she would have had the wherewithal to remove herself, but she didn't. And so Aaron Spencer's team, because at first this judge did the most, like, she did an extreme gag order, sua sponte, which means like without either side asking for it. She did it on her own. It was a handwritten gag order. She also did the arraignment in private and secretive. And then, so Spencer's team filed like a motion to the Supreme Court to get the gag order reversed, and they vacated it. And not only did they vacate it, but they recommended she step down from that case. Okay. So that was back in March 2025. So she didn't step down. She made some terrible rulings that was this last Friday, you guys? Now it's like so crazy. Let me see what the date is on my X for this. Okay, the 23rd. Yeah, I can't believe this was only a week ago. So last Friday there was a hearing, and they were going to about the grooming expert that she had denied, and his team wrote like they appealed her denial for their witness. Because the DA's office was trying to say that the daughter somehow left willingly. I don't know how that's possible. She's a minor. This sicko was 67 years old and had a restraining order. I don't know really how she could go willingly, but that's what they were saying. And so then Aaron Spencer's team wanted to present an expert on grooming, because they wanted to explain to the jury why the daughter possibly could have left willingly, because she was groomed. And this awful wicked witch of a woman said that it would confuse the jury, because this was not a case about SA. It was a case about homicide. So Spencer's team went all out, and they filed to the Supreme Court. So now that they knew the Supreme Court of Arkansas told her to they recommended she get off the case, and she didn't. And instead she kept making completely biased, insane rulings. His team went full force and filed things with the Supreme Court. And then now we get to the punchline. What is this? Oh, okay, wait, let's see if I have, so here was this, because they knew how the Supreme Court fell. So then this also happened Friday. So on Friday so the judge refused to recuse herself. So again, because they had filed like a formal motion, she refused. So the trial was supposed to start this Monday, okay? And then there was going to be a weather delay. It was going to start today, Thursday. But then on Friday, the Supreme Court, they told the judge to step down. So it says petitioner's petition for writ of certiorari, is that how you say it? And other relief, emergency consideration requested, expedited consideration granted, petition for writ of certiorari granted, writ issued, Circuit Court's January 13th, 2026 order limiting courtroom occupancy and no recordings vacated, because that was the other thing. They wanted to limit the courtroom occupancy, and they wanted it to be not recorded for no reason. She never even gave a reason. 23rd Judicial Circuit Judge Division 1, Barbara Elmore, removed from this Aaron Spencer's case to be reassigned to a special circuit judge appointed by this court. And then these are the people that would deny the petition for the writ of certiorari, which that's the part where they basically have the new judge go and look at every ruling the judge has made in this case. But the Supreme Court granted, it's just those are the people that would have denied it. So something's obviously wrong with their head. And then it said the case is immediately stayed pending this court's appointment of a special judge. In testimony that the above is a true copy of the order in said Supreme Court rendered in the case stated therein, I, Kyle E. Burton, clerk of said Supreme Court, hereunto set my hand and affix the seal of said Supreme Court at my office in the city of Little Rock on this 23rd day of January. And this just warmed, I posted on X that this warmed my jaded little heart, because I mean, this is like an impossible thing. This is almost impossible. We actually saw one more judge removed this week in a different case with I want to say it was in Atlanta with some rapper or something, but so it happened after this. So that two rare things happened at once. But like, again, besides that, you just never see this. And but if there was a case where a judge needed to be removed, it was this one. And I actually was talking to some because we have a legal committee for the land that I'm trying to save. And I was actually just talking with them, and I mentioned this to them just to see, I'm like, have you guys in any of your careers in your field of work ever seen anything like this where the judge is removed after especially this is the second time the Supreme Court's had to intervene, because they actually had already suggested she should step down. And they're like, no. And they're like, usually they're like, it's very rare even for the Supreme Court to suggest that. And if they do, the judge would immediately step down. They've never and this was people who have even gone in front of the Supreme Court. So I just thought it was pretty interesting. Yeah, because she's a nitwit. Yep. It was a huge risk by his lawyer because he could have been burned. Yeah, exactly. Because they could have said no. But I think that they knew that I think that they already knew how the Supreme Court would rule based on what they had said before, how they thought that she should step down. Kay Bell says 13-year-olds are not allowed to choose to go to willingly with pedos. I know. It's just insane. This is so embarrassing, but we're not even done yet. We're not done yet, because things are just about to get even better. So let's keep going. I've never even seen this. Okay, so this came out, the date is before, but we saw it the same day on Friday. Okay, so this is from the state of Arkansas House of Representatives. And it says, and this was a letter to Miss Emily Abbott, who's the executive director of the Arkansas Judicial Discipline and Disability Commission. Dear Director Abbott, as a member, can you guys see this? Sorry, I just want to make sure it's big enough. Did I take all the comments off the screen? You guys can see us, yeah? Okay. Let me go back. Dear Director Abbott, as a member of the Arkansas General Assembly, we write regarding the ongoing trial of Mr. Aaron Spencer in Lonoke County. We have serious concerns about whether he is receiving a fair trial, and we believe these concerns require our attention as legislators. The Arkansas Supreme Court has already intervened in this case. The court found that the trial court violated Mr. Spencer's First Amendment rights through an overly broad gag order. This is not speculation. It is a documented ruling that constitutional violations have already occurred in this case. And then she quotes the Spencer versus the state of Arkansas. They support, and they quote Justice Bronny, his concurring opinion. So that was pretty funny, because we read that. Remember, we love Justice Bronny. He did not mince his words. He went really hard on her. Recent court orders continue to raise concerns. The trial court has restricted public access to the proceedings and deployed extraordinary security measures. These actions create conditions that may prejudice Mr. Spencer's right to a fair trial. The restrictions appear excessive and risk undermining the presumption of innocence to which every defendant is entitled. As members of the legislative branch, we have a constitutional duty to ensure accountability across all branches of government. The Arkansas Constitution gives the legislator specific authority over the conduct of all public officials. We respect judicial independence, but we take our obligations seriously to ensure that constitutional rights are protected. We do not ask anyone to prejudice the evidence. We do insist that Mr. Spencer receive a fair trial that meets constitutional standards. Judicial conduct should be reviewed to ensure that the pattern of violations does not continue. Look at this. Look at all these state representatives that signed this. Oh, it's not done yet. Hold on. We trust that existing oversight mechanisms will address these concerns. However, if the documented pattern of constitutional violations continues, we are prepared to fulfill our constitutional obligations by using the full range of powers entrusted to us by the people of Arkansas. We call on state leaders and the judiciary to ensure that a fair and constitutional justice is done in this case. And then it's respectfully, look at all these state representatives. I mean, oh, Barbara Elmore. I mean, not only is this so embarrassing, such a bad day, and the DA's office for freaking supporting her and trying to like justify what she was doing on this case. Shame on them. But this is embarrassing for them too. I mean, look at that. I mean, I don't know who these state representatives are, but like, I mean, let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of these state representatives signed this about her. I have no words, like her unacceptable, oversight of this case. Are you guys blown away yet? I need to see the chat. Let me get back in here. Oh my gosh, I have a new member. Mr. Busted Can of Biscuits became a new member. Thank you so much. Or sorry, Mrs. Busted Can of Biscuits. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. Welcome to the crazy train. Where did you go? Uh-oh. Did I disappear? I want to make sure you guys don't see me. 3 of the Arkansas Supreme Court justices wouldn't look at it. Yeah, well, screw them. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm still here. Yeah, that's right, Barbara. You're fired. You are fired. Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, sorry. That's so annoying because I just fixed like my internet. So it like had been dropping a lot like the past few days. And so today I fixed it and now it's been working great. So if it goes out again, let me know though. Definitely. Yeah, it's been nuts trying to catch up, right? Yeah, that's how bad she was. It's just insane. Absolutely insane. So, but things get worse. Okay, are you guys ready for this? Things get worse for Barbara Elmore. So, let me take you to let me see if this will just let me open this. So, Judge Barbara Elmore hit and run surveillance footage. Is this woman drunk? Yesterday, the Supreme Court of Arkansas removed disgraceful Barbara Elmore from the Aaron Spencer case just days before trial was set to begin. And then we get this footage. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to link, it's already linked in the description, but I want to make sure that I give credit where credit's due. Because this, here, I'm just putting it in the chat right now. And let me actually share this tab. So this guy, Jimmy Cavan, he's the one who got us that photo of Barbara. And he's the one who got us the surveillance footage. So this is her driving to work, okay, the courthouse. Can you guys see this? Let me make sure. Okay, let me see if I can make it bigger. Hold on. Okay. So she's trying to park. This is like 9:30 in the morning. She sideswipes this car next to her. And then she realizes that she sideswipes it, right? Okay, so now she's trying to back up, but then she's stuck, because you're these things, your rear view mirror, she got stuck in the car. So she can't back up. So then she just keeps going forward over the edge, over the sidewalk. and then drives back around. She's like, uh-oh. So then she's going to drive back around and park. And then she's going to walk into the house, back into the courthouse. I'm going to fast forward it so you can see it. Okay, that's her walking. She checked out her work. Didn't leave a note. Just keeps walking. Throws something away. Probably like those bottles of alcohol or something, because allegedly, in my opinion, that's like the wacko. So what happened was the owner of this car filed a police report that like someone hit their car, and then they found out. So this was from July 18th. So this was like after the Supreme Court told her not that she needs to get off the Aaron Spencer case. Okay, so this was last July. Yeah, 9:30 in the morning. So, and it says, spoiler alert, she got away with it. Of course she did. So this guy is awesome. Because I think he did one more. Yeah, so I have to give him credit too for this photo, because I don't think we would have had this photo of her. So yeah, it just says, he basically says everything that we just said. Okay, so later that day, an officer arrives to the scene. He inspects the woman's vehicle with her, and then they both enter the courthouse at 1:30. At that point, the incident was over. Now that fact has infuriated many, wondering and asking why Elmore was not arrested and charged. Did she use her position and power as judge to escape accountability? Well, the answer to that is yes and no. For the Lonoke County PD, they did about all they could do in this situation. Let me explain. I talked on the phone with the chief early Thursday evening. He confirmed the incident took place and that Elmore was driving the vehicle that struck Frazier's. He stated that there was no incident report on the matter, but acknowledged there should be dispatch records on it, and assured me that when he got to work the next morning, he would access and send them to me, which he did. The dispatch call report provides facts that help paint the picture. According to the report, the request to LPD for an officer was made by a woman who works in Lonoke County Judge Doug Irwin's office, stating that a white SUV hit Miss Frazier's vehicle and left the scene. Then we have like the dispatch call right there. That tells us at that point, no one still had a clue it was Elmore who committed the hit and run. Note the timestamp on the surveillance video and the report are slightly different, which is a common occurrence. And then it just said, no incident report was generated. Further, I researched laws. Okay. It was a hit and run with a vehicle, which is a 10. Okay, so the penalty for violating the code ranges from Class A and B misdemeanor to a Class D felony, depending on the amount of damage. Frazier's vehicle was not attended. On the other hand, AR Code 2753-104 addresses a hit and run of an unintended vehicle. As you can see, it has no penalty. And so then it has the code. So there's no penalty, I guess, for hit and run in Lonoke County, Arkansas. Do I think the law is just? No, but it is the law. At that point, there's really nothing LPD can do. I have to say I'm impressed with the chief's prompt response and transparency. That is a refreshing 180 from the past LPD chiefs. I also reached out to Elmore and Frazier for statements on Friday morning. I spoke to a lady in Elmore's office explaining in detail the request and left my number for her to call me. I've yet to hear from her, and Smart Money says I never will. My attempts to speak to Miss Frazier were unsuccessful. However, Miss Frazier's husband, John, messaged me this morning confirming Elmore agreed to pay for fixing their vehicle and said she did just that. What a saint she is. Yeah, so anyways, I linked that. Crazy, right? This is, I'm telling you, this is absolutely banana town crazy, this case. The fact that like, I cannot believe there's not more coverage, really. Like this is something you would think like long crime would be all over. Like, I mean, I was watching like what was that? The au pair, the Brendan Banfield trial today. Like, yeah, that case is crazy. But like, this case is like also crazy. This is like so insane. You never hear of a judge getting removed. That could easily be drunk or entitled. Or drunk or entitled, yeah. Oh, yeah, thank God for cameras. All day drinking. I know. And so, oh yeah, so let's keep going. Because this just led to, all right, let me go to my slides. This is kind of, now I don't really remember what the rest of my slides are, you guys, so it might get a little crazy. Okay, so I went to the comment section where this video, because it was also posted like on the Justice for Aaron Spencer Facebook page. And it says, not very honorable behavior. What other crimes has she hidden? And then someone says, is there body cam footage of the police interviewing Elmore regarding the incident? And they said, if it is, it's missing, I'm sure. And that, what is that? That's a throwback, because there was a SD card from Michael Fossler's truck of the, of the incident that could have helped Spencer, could have like shown what had gone down that night, where he had taken the daughter, what had happened between him and Spencer. And that SD card mysteriously went missing. And also, then we found out that like one of the officers lied about it on the stand, it seems, because he said, oh, well, when I watched it, there was just, it was just 15 minutes of flashing like blue and red lights from when the police were there, which means if it was recording when the police were there, it had to have been recording from before. And also, that model doesn't record in 15-minute segments. It records in 5-minute segments. So there's no way this officer could have just watched like 15 minutes straight. There would have been segments. And so we think that there was something shady going on there. Mishandling of evidence, It says this isn't the first or even second time. A few years ago, she got into a wreck. Oh, sorry. Am I not sharing this? Sorry. All right. Now I should be sharing it, right? Yeah. Okay. So this one says, let me go back. This isn't the first or even the second time. A few years ago, she got into a wreck in a parking lot because she was drunk, and the sheriff's office gave her a ride home. No tickets, no tow, no speaking of it, just gave her a ride home. No harm, no foul. The accumulation of all the things she has done and got away with needs to be heavily investigated and would more than likely lead to prison time. Like, you guys, people in Lonoke County, like, they know what's up. The comment section was getting me. And then it says, was she drunk? And then it says she was breathing, so probably. And says, I've heard things along those lines. She even wears an ankle monitor. Now, I keep hearing the ankle monitor thing. I don't think that's a thing. I think, like, even if you did have a bunch of DUIs, I don't think you would get an ankle monitor. I think, like, if anything, she should have had one of those, like, breathalyzers that you have to blow into to start your car. But she doesn't, because she's a judge. And she knows there's a camera. And then it says, John Fraser, isn't this your wife's vehicle? And then it says, I've heard she wears an ankle monitor, but I don't know if it's true or just a rumor. See, I keep seeing that. And then it says, that's my sister-in-law's mother's vehicle. So check out the comment section on that page. That's pretty funny. It's the Justice for Aaron Spencer Facebook page. Now we're going to get into the court documents. So sorry, I just want to take that. So before I switch, I want to make sure I have, a good screen up. Okay. So this is linked in the description, but I'm going to link it in the chat, because the thing is, all of these documents are, they're like cached. They only last for like I don't know, like 10 minutes or something. The link, and then the link, you have to get a new link for every document. So I can't just like give you guys the links to the documents, but like I can give you a link to the file, and then you can download whatever documents you want. If that makes sense. Kenny says, why aren't more people covering this? I don't know. Well, this is what I honestly think, because I think that gag order did what it was supposed to do. She put in that unconstitutional gag order where it was unconstitutional. It was like no one was allowed to talk about this case at all on any side. And so there was like a blackout in the media. So I think a lot of people forgot about it. And then also the judge had said that in the courtroom, there would be no cameras allowed. There would be no live coverage of it, no live feed. So I think a lot of the media was like, okay, well, like, this is going to be a waste of time to report on the story anyways, because like we can't cover it, we can't capitalize it, we can't build it up, because like no one's going to actually see what's happening. So I think that she did it intentionally so that people wouldn't cover it. People forgot about it, but we didn't forget about it. Hold on one second. I'm going to get some tea. Okay, I'm back. And Elmore said you couldn't question the officer's truthfulness. Yeah, she did. She said so many things. Can you make that a video? Can you make that a video as short with Keystone Cops music, please? Which one? The car? That was so funny. I mean, this is so bad. She's retiring in November, but in my opinion, like she needs to get off. She needs to walk away now. Like leave now before you do anything else worse. Oh my God, Kay Bella, she's the raisin eyes of the court. Oh my God. Thank you so much for the super chat. That is so true. She's the raisin eyes of the court. Yeah, well, they say, justice, what do they say? Is justice is blind? She's certainly blind, in my opinion. But they say that 'cause they're not supposed to be biased. But she was very, very biased, and just there's no way she should have been handling this case. So we're gonna read something, and I just want to see, are you guys worn out? Like, do you want me to do this in a different live, or you still want to stay here? Because, yeah, Lori Jane says, I didn't forget. Oh, wait, let me go. I see Vague said something. I missed it. Oh, look, Prickly Pear says, this case is on the same level as YSL case in Georgia that went through 3 judges and 2 attorneys were arrested. Oh my God. That case was so crazy. And I remember that was it Bryan Steele, who like the judge was like, I'm gonna hold you in contempt. And he's like, well, then can you at least make sure I'm put in the same cell with my client so we can work on our case? Like that case was insane. And oh my God. And those jurors, they were on jury duty for was it over a year? That case, yeah. This is right up there though. I agree with you. Yeah, hit and run is not a crime. Well, it says if the car is unattended. But if there's someone in it, it's a crime. But if not, it's not. They need to change that law. Vague says, oh, I missed that. Wait, oh, it was up here. I'm sure it was an honest side swipe. We've all been there, right? Oh, wait, no, we haven't. I know, right? And she was drinking all night and drinking the night before all night. I know. Wild. Well, okay, so you guys want to go into these documents? Because there was a few that I just thought was important to read. And one of them is when they asked for the judge's recusal. So because okay, this is the brief in support. It's a little bit long, but we can skip through the parts we know. And there was, hold on, 2 more. Wait, this is a different one. And then her response. Oh my God. Okay. So let's start with this one. Because there was something else interesting. So, all of a sudden, Barbara Elmore, in her response, she said that she was not involved with the release of Michael Fossler. And it's like, so Aaron Spencer's team was like, well, we want the documents that they did all these formal requests, for the certified documents of his case and his bond hearing, and they couldn't get them. And then they were told that they were sealed because it involved a child. And they're like, that's not how the law works. Like, we are still allowed to have access to them. So, and obviously she is the one that let him go, because even the Supreme Court cites that. So, but all of a sudden out of nowhere, she just tries to deny it. And then they send this form that someone else signed that's not the bond hearing form. It's like something else. So it just like, when I tell you that this is like so insane, it is so insane. So I'm just giving you guys that like heads up, because when we get to that part, it might blow your minds. So, all right. So this is the short one. This is a 4-page one. All right. Defendant's motion for judicial recusal. Let me make sure y'all can see this. Is that big enough? Should I just move myself? I'll just take myself off. Okay. How many people are here? Okay. So we have a good crowd. Okay. Let's keep going. All right, defendant's motion for judicial recusal. Defendant Aaron Spencer respectfully moves for recusal of the presiding judge pursuant to Rule 211A of the Arkansas Code of Judicial Conduct. The cumulative record of these proceedings results in reasonably questions about the court's impartiality. And then she cites a case. This case arises from the killing of Michael Fossler, who had lured Spencer's minor daughter from her home while facing dozens of felony charges arising from SA offenses against her. Fossler was free on bond at the time. Bond issued through this court and was killed during Spencer's effort to recover his child. From its inception, the case has drawn intense public scrutiny regarding the court's decision to release Fossler on bond, the propriety of charging Spencer for actions taken in defense of himself and his child, and the integrity of the local law enforcement given his failure to preserve critical evidence. Spencer, his counsel, his family, and others have publicly criticized those actions. In the early proceedings, the court entered into an extensive gag order, sealed the case, and limited public access without a hearing for or factual findings. The Arkansas Supreme Court granted certiorari and vacated that order, expressly cautioning against courtroom closure or secrecy imposed without adherence to constitutional requirements. And then they cite the Spencer versus State, the Supreme Court case. Several justices warned of a troubling pattern of attempts to shield this case from public view that, in their opinion, warranted reassignment even then. Following the Supreme Court's intervention, the court's subsequent rulings have reinforced, not alleviated, concerns about impartiality and secrecy. The court imposed compressed and impractical scheduling directives while discovery was still being produced, required duplicative filing shortly before major deadlines, and denied defense requests for additional time despite late discovery disclosures by the state. During the pretrial hearing, the court curtailed discussion of Fossler's abuse and its relevance to the defense, permitted the state to proceed with expert testimony despite belated discovery related to that expert, and mischaracterized defense advocacy as improper. The hearing culminated in a public accusation of misconduct against a member of the defense team made without evidence and in open court, resulting in that attorney's removal and exclusion. The attorney violated no rule and did nothing improper. The episode publicly branded the defense as untrustworthy and reinforced the perception of hostility towards defense counsel. So let me tell you guys what happened. So during one of the pretrial hearings, it was, there's no recording or anything. But then during breaks, people would go outside. And so some of the people who were like in the courtroom were like posting to the Facebook and saying like what was going on during the breaks, right? But inside there's no phones allowed. However, attorneys, and we've seen this, like if you watch any case, like they're always on their laptops and phones because they're coordinating witnesses and whatnot, right? So the attorney was like doing something on their phone. And then the judge found out, like from, I guess that someone told her, the clerk, that like some stuff that had happened in the case had been on Facebook. She went crazy and made everyone go back outside to get research for make sure their phones were off. And then when she saw that defense counsel was on their phone, she blamed them. And then she had them removed from the room and like chastise them in public court. This is all like according to the people that were there. Okay. So I obviously wasn't there. And this is what happens when things are done in secret. We just have to rely on hearsay. So yeah, I mean, and you know what's crazy about this is there was, and I actually remind me, I wanted to tag or cut this part for Omar from the Tilted Lawyer, because somehow this came up in a stream recently. I think that he did with Cassidy, or maybe it was Lauren. And they were saying how he was saying how like attorneys are allowed to be on their phones during trial, like, like that's just a thing. Oh, because that's what it was. I think he was talking about the hearing for Blake Lively. The people that were going were not allowed to be on their phones, but that obviously the lawyers there would be allowed to have access to their phones, because you're allowed to have access to your phones during cases. That's just how it is. He was saying that. And I put in the chat, I was like, well, that's not what happened in the Aaron Spencer case, but like, of course, no one knows what Aaron Spencer is. No one cared. But I wanted to send this to him because I think this might shock him, because this is really, really, really bad. So anyways, let's just keep going. Sorry for that sidetrack. Okay. Most recently, the court entered a sua sponte order limiting public and media access to trial, capping attendance, and providing no alternative means of observation, again, without evidence, findings, or consideration of alternatives. That order functions as a courtroom closure and mirrors the secrecy concerns already condemned by the Arkansas Supreme Court. Viewed cumulatively, these actions create a reasonable perception that the court has responded defensively to public criticism and appellate review rather than correcting course. The appearance of partiality is further magnified by the nature of the trial itself. A substantial portion of the defense will focus on investigative failures by local law enforcement, including the failure to secure and preserve evidence. The court will be required to rule repeatedly on objections, scope of cross-examination, impeachment of law enforcement witnesses, and expert testimony addressing those failures. The court's long-standing professional relationship with local law enforcement create an appearance problem in this context. Regardless of subjective intent, under the unique circumstances in this case, a reasonable observer would question whether a judge with institutional ties to the very agencies whose conduct will be scrutinized can impartially adjudicate those disputes. That concern is further magnified by Spencer's current status as a candidate for public office. Spencer is now a political actor and, by extension, a political adversary of a public official exposed to be a witness in this case and with whom the court has worked professionally for many years. Spencer decided to run for office in significant part as a result of his experiences with these officials and has campaigned on those issues. His criticisms constitute protected political speech, but they nevertheless place the court in a position where its rulings may reasonably be perceived as entangled with institutional loyalty or political context. Recusal is required where a judge's impartiality may be reasonably questioned. Arkansas Code, Judicial Conduct 211A. Here, where the court will preside over disputes directly implicating law enforcement conduct, where public confidence has already been strained by prior rulings, and where the cumulative record reflects a pattern that reasonably suggests partiality, reassignment is necessary to preserve both the reality and appearance of a fair trial. Spencer respectfully requests that the court recuse from further participation in this matter and that the case be reassigned to another judge. Spencer does not object to entry of an order of recusal without a hearing. In the alternative, he requests a hearing on this motion, where for the defendant, Aaron Spencer, asked the court to recuse from this case and seek expedited appointment of a specially appointed judge and for all other relief to which he is entitled. Wow, right? Mic drop. And let me just look it up. Because I know that the new judge, everyone says it's good. Aaron Spencer, new judge, because it was appointed by the Supreme Court. Let's see. Yeah, some of these articles I don't have access to. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna share this one. Oh, but see, this one, they had these ads and then the sound. Okay. So yeah, Arkansas Supreme Court appoints new judge to Aaron Spencer murder trial. Okay, Chief Justice Karen Baker assigned retired Circuit Judge Ralph Wilson to oversee the trial. So he's retired. Well, anything is better than Barbara. The assignment comes just days after the court removed Judge Barbara Elmore from the case at the request of the defense. Just insanity, right? Let's see if I can look this guy up. Let's see what he looks like. Is this him? Yeah, this looks like him. Okay, let's share this. So I think this is him. But, as we've seen, Arkansas doesn't really update their pictures. So he could be like 100 years older than this. Or, we don't know when that was taken. But that seems to be him. Ralph Wilson. So, but people say that they think that he's, I think, honestly, anything's going to be better than than what we had. So, how you guys doing? Vague says, many special assignments for judges are assigned to retired judges. For example, the Becky Hill and jury situation. Okay, I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, and actually, yeah, because the judge in that case had retired. I don't know if Becky Hill was supposed to have been seen by that judge. Was it Newman? Clifton Newman, I think, who I loved. I thought he was an excellent judge. I'm sad that he retired. Oh, there's an interview from a few years ago. Okay, so do you guys want to see? Okay, so they filed something else that goes into more detail, so we can read that if you want. Let's see how long I've been going. Almost 2 hours. So I don't know. Oh my God, do I have a super chat? Who is that? Shanonos, thanks for covering this. Well, so good to see you. Thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you. I'm just glad that there's still people that are into this because we might actually now, well, I think there could be two things that happen. I think now I think the judge, let me switch this screen for you. Hold on. I think that the new judge I think they might like dismiss the case, because if they have to go through all the previous rulings and go over what she's already ruled on, and they find that like I think there's a strong argument to dismiss this case, and I think that the judge could do that. So maybe this will just be over, and he can run for sheriff and become the new Lonoke County sheriff, or if this does go to trial now like the public access element of this is very, very important, and we might actually see it streamed. So I appreciate you, Shanonos, for like being here. I appreciate everyone for being here, and your super chat is so generous. It means a lot, and it's going straight into the StreamYard fund. So thank you, because StreamYard's a biatch. What animal is cute? Oh, I think she's probably talking about the squirrel emojis. But I do have actually a cute animal I can show you really quick. I just have a quick screenshot. I'll just show this to you. So do you guys, so we can, I'll show you Barbara's response to that, because then she refused to step down, which I thought was very interesting. I'm like, okay, are you sure about that? Never mind. I deleted the screenshot. I was going to show you Gelth, but I think they're talking about the squirrel emojis. Okay. So let's go back. Uh-oh. He was very involved in children's cases. Okay. Oh, you must have missed the episode about the chipmunks. Oh, the squirrels. Okay. Bella says they'll probably dismiss the case now because DFJ is now on it. That's what I think. Oh, I love you. That's so sweet. Yeah. I mean, I wish I made a difference. Honestly, that's why I had to like start with the it ends with us stuff. I mean, I did want to cover that anyways, but when I do Aaron Spencer, it just does not get picked up at all. So like, because all my first videos were about It Ends With Us, like that's the YouTube algorithm I'm like stuck in, and anything else I do like it just dies in the ether. So which sucks because I had like loved doing the true crime stuff. Gal says StreamYard is expensive, $80 for it. Screw that. I know it's such a ripoff. It annoys me, but it works. Like I think it's the easiest one to work for someone that's not like technologically like advanced. Shanona says if he becomes sheriff, we should buy a billboard with his picture that says there's a new sheriff in town. I love that idea. I love that. And I'm gonna link all his stuff after the stream because I didn't have it ready in this chat, but I have like a whole playlist, which I don't know if any of the mods if you're able to put the link to like my playlist. I have a Spencer, because all the links are in there. If most of those videos have links to all of this stuff, if you can find it. If not, no worries. I can actually, well, let me see if I can find it. Well, I can link it later, but let me see. So I wanted to show you something really quick. Side note, quokkas are adorable. What is that? Oh my God. They're so cute. I don't know what that is, but that's the cutest thing ever. I love it. Okay. So let me close this. I just want to show you guys something. So so there's two more attachments to what I just read you, but we're going to go back to that. But I just want to show you just so you guys can see. So this is like her response. And like, I just like, this is so funny. Look at this, like her 24, what is this? Like a 25-point font, like 30-point font that she writes in. So this is a response for judicial recusal. On this day, the court responds to the defense motion counsel for judicial recusal. Many judges set bonds and see defendants at first appearance in the 23rd district. The judge appreciates the work of all other judges that assist her with setting bonds and doing first appearance. This judge never saw the deceased, Michael Fossler. Also, this judge did not set the bond of the deceased. She is such a liar. Due to discovery in this matter, defense counsel is well aware of these facts. Also, and then now she's also basically saying the Supreme Court lied also. This woman is crazy. Also, defense counsel is well aware that this judge did not sign the affidavit of probable cause for warrant of arrest for the defendant, Aaron Spencer. In November of 2024, the court saw the defendant so that he might please set pretrial and jury trial dates. The courtroom was not closed. Defense counsel may or may not remember the defendant. All counsel and defendant's wife were allowed in the courtroom. This is an extremely small courtroom. Moreover, other defendants with their loved ones and bondspersons were in the courtroom. There were issues with very limited space, courtroom management, and security. Also, at the time, there were a number of instances of the flu. Therefore, overcrowding was an issue. There has been no favoritism to one party or the other in this matter. Defense counsel within the last couple of months tried to enter motions under seal. The court would not allow said motions to be filed under seal. The public, media, and prosecution all have a right to see these documents. Said documents have never been filed. This woman is a psychotic. This is the woman who did the unconstitutional gag order trying to accuse other people of that. Aaron Spencer is the only person in this whole case who's tried to put everything out there. This woman is insane. This judge is going to do her duty as the presiding judge over all criminal cases to give the defendant and the state of Arkansas a fair trial in this matter. The court previously entered an order limiting the number of media representatives and members of the public permitted inside the courtroom during future proceedings. The courtroom does not have unlimited seating, although it is the largest courtroom in the courthouse. After accommodating approximately 100 potential jurors, along with family members of the parties, counsel of record, and I think she means of record, right? And counsel staff, remaining space is limited. As a result, approximately 20 additional individuals, including members of the media and public, may be permitted to enter the courtroom, and such individuals may be required to stand at the rear of the courtroom. As the trial proceeds and jurors are excused or seating becomes available, additional members of the media and public will be permitted entry. These limitations are imposed solely due to space and security constraints and do not constitute a closure of the proceedings. So now she's backtracking because before there was only going to be 20 additional seats for media and public. Okay. That's nothing for this high profile case. And she's not even saying they have a seat. They might have to stand in the back of the courtroom. But now she's like, oh, no, that I was just saying that because of the, potential juror selection. And when the trial was going to start, it would change. That's not what she said before. Not only is space an issue in these proceedings, let me make sure you guys can still hear me. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Not only is space an issue in these proceedings, so are management of the courtroom and security are issues. There have been many threats against this court and others involved in the trial process. Prove it. Prove it. Give an example. You can't just say that and not give an example. Also, due to fire hazards, the courtroom should not be packed with individuals standing or sitting in areas that block the doorway. You just said they should stand in the back, you moron. This case should proceed as scheduled, and the judge intends to hear this matter. I mean, what a moron. And then, look at her big-ass signature. It takes its own page. She couldn't even, sign it down here because she signs in, 60-point font. So, glad that's the last we're going to be hearing from her, right? This lady is Delulu as Blake. I know, isn't she? She's absolutely insane. Insane. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more document and then we'll be done, okay? For now, I wanted to give you guys all these updates, and we don't know when I don't think we know when the trial is supposed to take place. Okay. Oops. Let me get back to my screen. This was for I'm just pulling up one more thing. Sorry, you guys, 1 second. And actually, I'm going to get some tea while we're paused. Okay. Let me remove this. That's a cute animal too, isn't it, Gal? I showed this to Christina the other day. I have to do I think I'm going to either make a little short on it or something with the animals because this is a ringtail and it was in my house. Long story, but yeah, and I had to get him out and he was so cute. So anyways, hold on 1 second. Yeah, Lori, you're right. No, there's no trial date yet. Is she insane in the membrane? She's insane in the membrane. DFJ has released my need to hate this woman so much. And isn't that amazing though? Like when we see something wrong and then something's really actually done about it. Like this, like I've seen like Judge Lyman, I think is terrible, but I know he's not going anywhere. But I think he's terrible. And I think that it's a conflict of interest that he's on this case. I think he's done terribly, for the Blake Lively case. But like, I think he should be removed as a judge because he's had to step down from like 14 other cases in 2 years, which is so bad. I think there's something wrong with him. He's defective in the head, in my opinion. But we're never going to see any justice with that, right? We're just going to have to just pray and hope this goes to a jury, because then a jury is going to be much more sane and they're grounded and they'll see what's happening. But, this woman, I mean, imagine how many other cases have been before her that she's messed up. Think this was a high profile case. This man is a legend. Aaron Spencer, in my opinion, he's running for sheriff. And so it's getting a little bit more attention. If there were truth that she wouldn't need any other excuse. Exactly. Thank you, Vague. You're the voice of reason. Thank you. Yes. Can I read the response to that? Okay. So we're going to read the response. Well, there was because there's a lot longer attachment with other things, but okay. Let's read the response to that because I have that as well. So let me make sure I close this one. This was the long one. This is a lot more case law, but because this was attached to the one that I read before. But so I don't want to have to read all of that today, but let's see. I wanted to show you their response. So, oh yeah, and this was the exhibits too that they had, like their emails asking for. This was them. Let me make sure you can see this. Let me take me off. Okay. Yeah, these were some of their exhibits because they're like that they were trying to get these records from Michael Fossler, and like they're just saying the Lonoke County does not have any records of Michael Fossler. So all of a sudden they don't have the records. And they're like, what? How could you not have any records of him? And they're like, no one named Fossler. And then they said, they asked for like the full file. And then they like have to follow up again. And then it says then they say, oh, okay, this is a clerk. Okay, we attached them. And then they don't attach them. They're like please send all documents in this case. Only 2 documents are sealed, so I would expect only the orders related to those 2 documents, and please send all documents reflecting the bond decision. And then they're told, let me see, because it was like they sent like, what is it? This is nothing. Like, I don't know what that was. Oh, they have his charges, right? They get his charges. I mean, the 43 charges, like it's unheard of. Okay, good. You can still hear me. Okay. And then they're like, where's the like other file? Was there not a bond hearing? And then it says, they said, there would have only been a first appearance after his arrest that is not placed on record. And then his plea and arraignment was waived, so there was no appearance. And of course, his case is now closed. Let me know if you need further assistance. And they said, okay, we want a transcript of all the hearings. And then, but I have to show you where they said it was like, yeah. And then they just do a pretrial order, which is not the same thing. This is not a bond hearing where someone else has signed this. So then they ask again, right? And then where was it? The clerk basically says, oh yeah, here it is. I'm waiting for permission from the TCA to obtain certified copies of these documents. And they're like, you do not need permission. These are public documents. I mean, insane, right? It's just so insane. So anyways, okay, so let's go to the other document. So we'll go to their response to that. So okay, so that was her response, right? For judicial recusal. And then here's their response. Reply. So this is reply to clarify the record in response to the court's response to motion for judicial recusal. Okay, are you all still with me? We'll just read this one. Sorry, DFJ, taking you off isn't on my bingo card for today. Try later. Taking what? Oh, that's so sad, gal. Ringtails are a pain in the butt here in Australia. I'd advise to watch the more Pars videos on them. He does the subject. Okay, well, I have to disagree. Well, my research on them said that like the miners, like well, in America, like would keep them close by because they do like pest control, and they would keep the rats and stuff away. He was such a little sweetheart. But I've read that they're building into places where they live, and so now like more people are getting them in their homes. But like he was just, oh, he was such a sweetheart. Don't worry, you're not going to piss me off. I always love hearing everyone's opinions, but I think that they're the cutest person ever. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. I know, it's so cute, right? We're gonna read this one. So this will be the last one for today, and then I will let you all go. Okay. Sorry, I just need to pull it up. I've already forgot what screen I'm on. Okay. Reply to clarify the record and judicial response to court's response to motion for judicial recusal. The defendant, Aaron Spencer, through his attorney, states in reply to the court's order regarding its recusal. The court does not address most of the issues presented in the recusal motion. Counsel addressed the bond matter in the motion for recusal, and the court appears to agree that it was set by the circuit court, although apparently not her personally. Despite all reasonable efforts to confirm that information, defense counsel became aware of this after the Supreme Court's decision on the earlier writ as outlined in the motion under circumstances that create other issues of concern. As pertaining to the closed arraignment, lack of space for the public was not an issue. There were empty benches in the courtroom at arraignment with plenty of space for members of the public and press. The courtroom was not even half full when Mr. Spencer appeared before the court, which was more than sufficient space for the members of the public who were made to wait outside. As the record of that proceeding confirms, the court made no remark at arraignment related to the size of the courtroom or overcrowding in response to defense counsel's objection to the closure. The court is correct that counsel was required to identify the defendant's family, and other than counsel, only they were permitted in the courtroom, that's wrong. Our courts are open to the public. Arraignment was conducted on December 2nd, 2024. There was also no flu epidemic at that time. In fact, it was a normal year for the flu. CDC data shows that Arkansas had minimal flu activity at the end of November of 2024, which was 2 days before the Monday hearing. No other flu-related precautions were taken, such as masks or distance requirements. The documents requested to be filed under seal were properly subject to sealing under the law and logic. The court's order indicated that no documents would be filed under seal, not that there was no legitimate reason that those specific documents should not be sealed for the reasons explained in the motion. As to the court's restrictions on the public's attendance at trial, the court appears to suggest that it will permit the courtroom to fill to capacity. However, that is not what the court's prior order outlined. Given the amount of space and available seating, the courtroom will not be close to full with 55 people, including parties, counsels, and family, permitted to attend the trial. The number permits about 20 to 25 members of the public to attend. In addition to the parties, counsel, and family, the court required the parties to identify. At pretrial, the court reserved seats for family and counsel staff, so those seats were not available even if empty. There is no need for attendees to stand or sit in areas that block the doorway for the public to be permitted to fill the empty seats in the courtroom. The gallery alone contains 75 seats, not including seats along the walls of the courtroom, counsel tables, or a separate conference table that sits empty for the most part. The courtroom also has extended empty space that could serve as seating without blocking any other areas. Further, there are other methods by which the court can ensure public access that have not been considered. There is no record for any threats made to the court or parties. The court has never mentioned this to defense counsel. Spencer has nothing to do with any threats and has not been made aware of any threats. If there have been threats made to the court, it would be unnecessary for security measures to target Spencer during the trial, as the potential danger would be elsewhere. If the court suggests that there's a need for an overabundance of security, as was at pretrial, an adequate record should be made on the issue, along with balancing the Spencer's constitutional concerns and a narrowly tailored plan to ensure safety with the parties given the opportunity to address any issues on the record. The court denied the motions to recuse without conducting the requested hearing. As such, the defendant files this pleading to ensure the record is clear on these points in the event there is further review of this court's refusal to recuse from this matter. I just love his attorneys, and we're gonna end it here. But I just once again, if you are on this docket here, let me share with this one. I think it's worth it. Like, if you are still blown away by all of this, to read. See here where it says like the two attachments. One of these is 26 pages, or this one's 52. This one's just exhibits. Okay, the other one, the second one, is 26 pages. This is also a really good read too, especially if you like case law and stuff, how they spelled it out. But like, we're not going to get into that tonight. We've read a lot today, and I just wanted to give you all like the big news and celebrate it with like you guys are like my favorite people. We've been through this case together from the beginning. So yeah. I think that's it. So if there's no other questions, and I think I got everyone, let me make sure I say thank you again, Kinney, for becoming a member. Thank you, Khaleesi, for becoming a member, and for becoming a member for 2 months. That was so sweet of you. Thank you, K Bella, for the super chat. Thank you, Mrs. Busted Can of Biscuits, for becoming a member. Oops. Thank you, K Bella, for the super chat, and thank you, Shanonos, for the super chat. It is so much appreciated. I appreciate all of you. Who is on right now? Should I send you all somewhere? Oh, and thank you to Christina for my mods. Absolutely. I love you guys so much. You have no idea. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and always being so supportive. Thank you, Kenny. And I want to send you all. Is there anyone else live is there anyone live I should send you guys to? Let me see. Let me, because I have to go into edit. Now I remember how to do this. And then I go to custom, redirect. I don't see any of our peoples. Let me see. Well, Cat says Cat Not Williams upcoming. What time is that at? Let me see what you are all saying in the chat. Who is this? What link is this for? Oh, thank you. Kenny's song. Thank you for putting it in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm going to end it here. So thank you all again, and I hope to see everyone soon. Okay. I'll just link it. Let me just link it to, I see Cat Not Williams says is eventually. Oh, that's tomorrow morning. Forget it. All right. I'm going to end it. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.